make OEM audio better and earlier than the others. In this way, just like the Darons.
Right.
They're actually they just do the change the pitch model very easy. Everybody say this is easy, but I just that they just find that earlier than the others.
Right. So that's a very good observation. Okay, and I used to live in the New York area. Okay, and the joke was the New York recipe for beating traffic was I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to that bottleneck or that light or that toll gate faster than you. And there's some truth to that, okay? But the problem still exists because if you get there faster than everybody else, the forces of commoditization are still there. They're going to catch up to you. It just means that you have to change. Now, there's actually a lot of other management theory that, there's another theory that we teach in my course that I didn't cover, which talks about the resources and processes and priorities in companies. Okay, and it's very interesting how processes get established in a company. We have a small startup. There are no processes by and large. What happens is people get confronted with problems, and when they get confronted with problems, the way they solve them is, they make up something, and if solving that problem, solving similar problems like that multiple times seems to work, it kind of gets institutionalized in the process. Okay, and so what happens is companies build up processes, and this is how we do things. Right? And actually, when people stop questioning, should I use this process or not, a lot of people who study this, Edgar Schein at MIT has studied this a lot. When people stop, questioning, should I use this process or not, it's actually become part of the culture. Okay, and I know a lot of people at Dell. I talk to them quite a bit, and I used to go down to them and talk about, well, how does this stuff actually work in the company? And they say, we have a model. Okay, and our model is, when a product category reaches a certain level of maturity, it's ready for commoditization. They actually wanted me to run, they were thinking about going into the copier business, okay, and they wanted me to run it, right, because they said, we think copiers are to a point where, we can apply the Dell supply chain model to copiers and make lots of money. Now remember, their processes are, they would put something on their website, they see if it would sell, usually within 30 days, they know, right? So I asked them, okay, if you want me to build a copier business, how long are you going to give me? I said 90 days. Anybody ever build a completely new business like that in 90 days, where you have to figure out how to source copiers and so on and stuff like that? And what it said is they were really locked into their model, right? So as easy as it is to say that companies just have to change their model quickly, most companies have a lot of different doing that. It's much harder to do than a lot of.
My question is that those people who succeed is that they find their theory to success first, or they just do it.
Oh, I see. Well, that's a good question. Okay.
Yeah, like barreling or like in their stances, or the people just work hard at it.
Yeah.
I think they didn't know the theory.
There are varying perspectives on that. Okay. There's a whole group of management scholars who believe in what we call the ecological model. Okay. And in fact, we were just using this model in a discussion we were having today. Right? Is the world like a jungle where natural selection weeds out the winners from the losers? And I had somebody tell me today at lunch that in China, entrepreneurs in China, you have so many people and so many different things, right? You have a lot of people who were successful. I have no idea why, right? They were in the right place at the right time. And so there's sort of that ecological model for that. The other extreme is, this top-down model where you have this visionary founder who orders everything that gets done right. That's kind of the Apple model, right? Or Hong Kong, or Quanta's a little bit like that. Right? And I don't think there's good agreement on exactly why that is. What management scholars do observe, though, I can give you one interesting statistic. There was a study done at HBS about it was 400 startups that had HBS graduates in them. Okay, and the question was, what percentage of the successful ones, there were lots of failures, but the successful ones, what percentage were on the business plan that they originally filed with their venture capitalists?
Probably zero.
Not zero, but close, right? 8%. Okay, and what it said actually is, and there's another body of theory, and that's all called deliberate versus emergent strategy. How does strategy actually come about in the company, right? You know, so there's a whole body of work that says surviving firms are the ones who are able to adapt, you know, and make use of new opportunities and information. But there's, you know, that could be a couple more hour discussion on all the theory around that part, you know, but it's a very good question, very good question. But, like I said, it's another long discussion. Anything else?
Yeah,
Oh, one more? Okay, so one last one.
But according to this case, Microsoft should be really worried about this big, gigantic, say, this guy.
So you're applying theory very well.
Monolithic.
Yeah, you're applying theory very well.
And all these Web 2 thing came out of
Yeah.
this OLPC,
Yeah.
basically saying that in the future,
Yeah.
all the software will be free.
Yeah,
You simply just go to Google Mail,
yeah,
and Microsoft is going to worry about his office sales in
right.
the future.
Yes, and they are worried about it, right? Because I know people at Microsoft are worried about it. Now, it's very interesting to see the response, okay? Because their response was, they're going to have a special version of Windows for the new Windows version of the EPC, where the license fee, instead of like $70 or something, is $1.95. So, and that'll be Windows XP. So then they'll have Windows Vista for the high end and XP for the low end, you know, especially for third world countries, emerging markets and stuff. You think that, you know, if you apply theory, you think that's a good strategy? I think they're doomed on that one. I think they're doomed. So, you know, but see the power that theory gives you to examine situations. Okay, now, the key caveat is I have to make sure that the circumstances that I'm in are an exact match to what the theory says. Right? Avoid that GE mistake, which I hire anybody from GE. And, you know, a lot of people who tell you best practice, they're telling you this is a prescriptive theory when many of those are descriptive theories. Right? So be careful about that. Okay, well, thank you very much for your attention.
It's already past 9, so I wouldn't take it too long to conclude this session, but just to share something, right? When people are saying that when you want people to understand something, you tell them a story. Okay, so this is how we use it in this case study. So using it in our teaching. Okay, and also when you want someone to believe it, you tell them a story that they know is true. Okay, so we try to use in some of the cases story that's coming from Taiwan. So everybody here, you can relate to it, and you know, oh, these people I know, right? I know this is true, and I know this is something going on in our city, you know, in our science park, right? So I think this help you learn a lot, and you know this is something you can apply. And this is not something over in the United States. This is not something only the big country can use. Okay, so we try to do that in the future, and hopefully a lot of you can come back more frequently. Then we can establish the relationship between NTHU and you even tighter. Okay, let's give Willy a big hand. I think I owe him very, very much. He has not yet had dinner yet. Okay, we just come back from Guangda and Georgia, and then he don't have the time to take a rest. So yes, just thank you very much. Okay. I think we should have some food over there. So.